Good morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel Icahn. Welcome to Premarket Info.
Well, we're going to get started here a little bit different than normal. Actually, there was a meteor in Russia last night. Check out this video.
Just Ruski driving to work here.
This morning in Russia. Look at that meteor hitting. That is crazy. That's like that from that movie Armageddon. Apparently, it didn't hit the ground. It exploded above the ground. But believe it or not, from that video, was taken from the Atlantic Wire website. But believe it or not, maybe you can minimize that too. Believe it or not, actually, they're reporting as many as 500 injuries just from the light and from the sound. Apparently, it was so loud that it shattered windows, shattered glass, and it didn't even hit the ground. It exploded above the ground. So some people are saying it was only the size of a kilogram, but wow, that is an incredible video from this morning just above Russia. And then you look at this, and we're going to Herbalife. This is what maybe Icahn's trying to do to Ackman, throwing meteors at him
Ah,
here because Herbalife is flying this morning, Joel.
you talk about playing a dirty trick or playing under the table. I mean, goes on CNBC. They
Battle it
have
out.
their battle. The stock, let's just talk about the pre-market activity here real quickly. The news came, you got a spike here. You got to the $49 level, hit 49 and a quarter in the pre-market, starting to consolidate here around 45.21. Just the stock has just been all over the map. This was actually after they had their initial discussion. So if Ackman was quick on the bid, he probably had a chance to maybe cover some of his stock. But boy, oh boy,
I
oh
don't think
boy.
he
I mean,
did
now
though.
he's even talking about taking it private.
Yeah, so here's the news. So if you missed the news last night, Icahn discloses a 12.98% stake in Herbalife. Stock obviously pops if you bring back that pre-market chart. Obviously popped from the close of 36 or 38.27 up to 49 bucks overnight, trading at 45 right now. Also says in his disclosure that he's seeking to talk with management about a potential leveraged buyout. He's just basically pissed off about the whole fight that he had. The majority of this position was accumulated after the debate, so after the big CNBC Ackman versus Icahn debate, and he's mad. He's trying to stick it basically to Ackman here, and he's obviously the stock's up significantly here. So Ackman losing some money this morning. This is really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to, try and play this intraday, good luck here. I would just look at this consolidation around the $45 level here. It looks if we can hold 45, we could go back up to that $49 level.
So
You got to
hard.
figure though, Dennis, that Ackman's going to come with some kind of response to this. I mean, he just can't take this sitting down, can he?
It's just billionaire games here playing with each other. I mean, for the most part, Icahn doesn't want this company. He doesn't want to come. The Kid Dynamite actually had a great blog last night saying a lot of this stuff. He doesn't want the company. He just wants to basically stick it to Ackman. So he's hoping to squeeze Ackman, get him to basically squeeze out, cover his shorts, and he can sell it to him and make money off of it. So he's trying to squeeze him basically. Like it becomes, the stock actually can become hard to borrow too. 32%. Zero Hedge was disclosed not last night. 32% short interest in this stock. So 32% of the outstanding shares are short. This could become hard to borrow, and all of a sudden, Ackman could be forced to cover part of his position. So
I wish I knew how to work the polls here on this GoToWebinar thing because I would like to take a poll, and maybe our participants. Has anybody here ever bought an Herbalife product or know anybody that's bought an
well, that's
Herbalife
interesting
product?
too.
I mean, I just haven't heard of it. I mean, it's out there, but I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of scams out there and stuff, but this is just turned into
And
a
we don't know if
full-fledged
it's a
battle.
scam or not. They don't know. Like Ackman's saying it's a Ponzi scheme. Obviously, the Herbalife's defended themselves. Icahn's not buying this stock on fundamentals whatsoever. He's buying this just to spite Ackman. So it's incredible when you throw this much money at something just to basically get someone. Billionaire wars. That is pretty exciting. Procter Gamble last night, Joel. You just brought up the ticker tape. They actually updated their earnings projections downward just slightly, citing a Venezuelan currency devaluation. But the news algo was at work here again. I actually wrote a blog on the pre-market info site, but I'm just going to quickly summarize it for you guys. Stock comes out with the news at 16:10:00, so 10 minutes after the close. It's trading and closed up at 76.78. Boom, the news algo goes to work, sells it all the way down to 74.10, a buck 70 lower than the close. I mean, Procter and Gamble, for that stock to go down, or 270 lower, if for that stock to go down over $2.50, it takes a hell of a lot more news than a little Venezuelan currency devaluation news. But the news algo overshot again, sold almost 10,000 shares at the low at 74.10. The stock immediately 5 seconds later bounces back into the 76 handle and is now trading this morning at 76.32. So this news algo probably just threw away between $20,000 and $30,000. I don't know if that participant that's running that, it's running it ridiculously aggressively. Maybe he's making it on other stocks, but a lot of times he's overshooting here and throwing some significant money away.
I mean, just think how long it takes Procter and Gamble to move basically $3. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly. It's not going to do it overnight unless they come out and say it's a disaster quarter coming up. We're lowering guidance significantly. The lowering of the guidance was just a couple of cents just for the Venezuelan currency that they're issue. So really, a couple cent lower guidance is not going to knock off $2.70 from a low beta stock like Procter and Gamble. And we can see that this morning. Stocks pop back up, and it's trading 76.33 right now. It's barely down. Bring up the PG chart this morning. Actually, bring up the PG chart. Yeah, so you can see the huge spike down. There's just a little line because it was down there for like 1 second and immediately back up. So ouch to whoever is running that program. They're running it a little bit too aggressively.
yeah, just a quick technical here. PG, just this gap and go monster run here. It's still holding above the $76 level in the pre-market. You have just keep making new 52-week highs, 76 or all-time highs, excuse me. 76.97 was a high yesterday. That would be major resistance. Probably some players at the $77 level. Under
77's
60,
huge.
yeah, yeah, under 76, things kind of open up there a little bit. But boy,
Apparently.
I tell you, yeah, Colgate-Palmolive, I believe, issued some similar news not too long ago, and they got hit a little bit. But I don't know if they're just trying to to wreck the market, or they're trying to force 24-hour market makers or what. But
I think
what
it's just that news. They're trying to take advantage of it. In some instances, I mean, they hit some stock up at 76.70, 76.60, so they were making some money on that stock. I think that just the parameters, whoever's using that, is just a little bit too aggressive. I mean, there could be more than one participant too, but
yeah,
I tend to think it's made mainly one or two participants running the news heavily like that, and on the overshoots anyways, because we're seeing it again and again. I mean, if you've been watching our show for a while, it seems like every other day we're talking about the news algo overshot again, but this is a pretty major one on a low beta stock. So interesting with Procter and Gamble. CBS reported earnings last night, Joel. Stock actually trading down just slightly. Bring up the pre-market chart. We'll look at the after-hours action. They reported 64 cents versus 69. Did announce a $1 billion stock buyback, but the miss is bringing the stock a little bit lower here. Again, you can see, look at the range just when the news came out. It spikes up, it spikes down, it's all over the place. The news algo is just maybe a couple different ones going both ways on that thing.
Yeah, 44.12. It was hit in the pre-market.
After hours,
then,
yeah.
Yep, after hours, and then you spike down to the 41.50 level. Now, really, for quite a bit of the after-hours session, you've been trading between 42 and 42.50.
Yep.
The stock has had a nice run. This is when they announced they were selling some of their assets. Has not really looked bad since that news came out. I believe this is an all-time high here that it made at 43.47. So we're only a buck away from there. So let's just keep an eye on that if we go into the rally mode. Coming back on the downside, yeah, we did take out 42 in the after hours, but you had a low at 42.05 on the 11th. So I would look for that to act as good support. Below that, things open up between 41 and 42.
Kraft Foods issued some guidance here for their Q4. They're going to miss 15 cents versus 23. So stock is trading down just about 50 cents here in the pre-market. They did announce full year guidance up to 275, and estimates were down to 260. So they're kind of raising full year guidance, but lowering Q4. So a little bit of good news mixed in with bad news. But the bad news is bringing it down. We do have a couple spotty trades down here at the 46.65 area.
Yeah, I think people got a little giddy about this stock yesterday, based on, the Heinz news, definitely a related company in the sector.
Buying it up a bit.
There are so spotty trades in here. I think I'll just go to the daily here to take a look at this stock. Uh, I believe this is an all-time high here that it made at 47,
Uh,
50, yeah,
Actually, if we go
55.
back, I think we got to $48 in October, so we did just sneak above there. But it's a high of the recent move.
Right. Okay. And then we've come back down a little support here at yesterday's low, 46.87. We are trading below that. If in fact we can get above there, we can come back in to trade yesterday's range, perhaps test the close. If it breaks down below that area, you did have a low 2 days ago at 46.56. So this is a heavily traded stock. So it's a pretty big move for this overnight. Let's see if it can hold off the open and rally back, or if the bad news is going to rule the day and go down to the triple bottom at 46.16 to 46.18.
A lot of these food stocks, Campbell's Soup yesterday was obviously up in sympathy with the Heinz move, but if you look at the chart from yesterday, if you bring up yesterday's chart, Joel, it got up, and believe it or not, the stock got as high as 40.56. Hit that high, just started selling off, and it gave back the majority of the gains. They did report earnings here this morning, and they beat 70 cents versus 66. The guidance is 251 to 257. Estimates were around 254. So it's kind of just flat here, trading this morning at 38.73, which is actually closed 38.72 on 4,900 shares. So it's trading quiet this morning, but what a move yesterday, making that new high by over $2. Man, when a stock like this, as thick as Campbell's Soup, rallies $2 on a sympathy move, you got to think that's an overshoot.
Yeah, maybe not necessarily for trying to take a shot on the short side, but definitely if you've
Get out
been
of some
long this
longs.
slow moving issue for a
Yeah,
long time.
yeah.
Let's just keep an eye right where we're trading right now. Closed right on the low, 38.72. That was the low and the close. Not many trades in the pre-market. You have a gap to fill here down to 38.42. That's only a few cents away, but I think you'll find some minor support there, and then major support coming in at the double bottom from 37.92 to 37.96. But they really threw out a mixed bag there with the quarter versus the
Yeah, they
entire
kind of
year.
did. So it'll be interesting as we get closer to the open how the market starts to interpret that news. VF Corp also reported here. Joel, stock is trading down about a buck 80 right now at 151. Their numbers were 307 versus 304. They see 1070 versus 1096 though, so for the full year. So the guidance a little bit lower, which is what's putting the stock under a little bit of pressure this morning. Keep an eye on VF Corp, and if you're trading Ralph Lauren, often does move with the stock. But we'll stick with the VF Corp chart for now. Joel will give you a quick technical.
151 to 152 are your parameters that you're looking at from the pre-market. Not a lot is traded. Looking at this stock, it's had a major run here. Ran out of steam above 154. That doesn't look like it's going to come into play today. Let's take a look at yesterday's range. 150.30 was the low. We haven't reached that in the pre-market. I would use that as minor support. If you break below 150, a nice round number like that, you do have quite a bit of air down to 148.76. And then when a stock is trading down as much as it is right now, if you get back up to the mark, 152.81, it's not that far away for this stock. I would look for good resistance at the close, 152.81.
Going out to Agilent here, symbol A. They reported earnings last night, 63 cents versus 67. Revenue missed to 1.68 billion versus 1.69 billion. They are lowering guidance 270 to $3 for the full year versus 304. Here's a chart. Well, actually, after the hours, it got down. It's trading down. It got way below 41. It looks like it's kind of rallying back up here a bit now, trading 42.60, down a couple of bucks. But this stock has had massive consolidation here in the last month in the 44 handle, and it's a significant breakdown here this morning.
Yeah, we did make a bottom here in the pre-market at 40.50, but you see a stock $2, down $2 on the tape. It's actually rallied $2, consolidating here at the 42.60 level. I think that that should be a good swing area since it's been trading in that area here for the last 15 or 20 minutes. Here's another stock that has had a nice run, started to run into sellers. So yeah, above the $45 area. 44 was the key for a while. We've already taken that out. We've taken out 43. If it 40.50 might be a little bit of an overshoot today. So. I would look for minor support to come in. And it just looks like a buck. You take out 42, you go to 41. So minor support at 42, major support at that 40.50 low from the overreaction on the news.
And if you're looking at resistance up there, for whatever reason, if this rally continued another $1.50, I think you'll find sellers all over the place in that 44 handle that they'll be like, thank you very much that I'm breaking even on my trade, because there was a good 2 weeks of consolidation on that 44 handle, and all those people who bought the stock up there will be looking to dump it if for whatever reason it was to rally up that high, but I don't think they're going to get a chance. GNRC, actually, GNRC quickly downgraded to sell at Goldman Sachs. This is interesting. Downgraded to sell at Goldman Sachs, but upgraded at Stifel Nicolaus on the same day. Obviously, Goldman has a little more influence here because the stock is trading down about 60 cents. I have one analyst bullish, one analyst bearish here, but Goldman seems to be winning because the stock's trading down 70 cents here this morning.
Wow, this obviously had another major run during the snowstorm that hit out east and got its original boost from Hurricane Sandy. Boy, this thing had just a rotten day yesterday. Traded down, this is probably a thin issue. Traded down to 35.45. Closed just off the low, so that is going to be resistance now since we are trading below that. Looking at the activity in the pre-market, you did hit a low under $35, $34.65, so we're getting a little reprieve for that. I would use that $34.65 as a minor support point.
Walmart here, Reuters story breaking about at 7:38. Reuters reports that some of their UK shops find horse DNA in their beef bologna sauce. Walmart trading down. It's a crazy story.
Is that a surprise?
Well, find a horse DNA, I guess, in some of their shops, in the Walmart shops, and over there. Down $1.30 on this news, actually, on this Reuters story, on 234,000 shares. So it's trading significant volume here, too. When the story broke, I was like, is that why the stock's trading down? I'm like, yeah, that is. This Reuters story with the horse meat and possibly in the beef bologna. It's trading down $1.40 here.
Boy, we are covering the gambit here on pre-market info. 69.26 is where we've 69.25 has been the recent bottom in the pre-market. Getting a little pop off that, but surely not a big one. I would use 69.68 as resistance. I'm sure if you get back up to that $70 level, a nice round number like that, some people would be very happy to get out at 70. I mean, Walmart here just has had that had an impressive run. I mean, going back to the Mexican thing, they shrugged that off and had a rally for the ages in that stock. Stalled out above 72, back in December. Then hit just a mound of resistance here at 71.70 to 71.75. Doesn't look that's going to be in play. Use that 70 as resistance, and major support comes in under 69 at 68.80.
One number I'd like to highlight here is the low we had on February 4th, which was 69.13. Whenever you see Walmart lose $1.60, $1.70, I think you're going to find some value pickers coming in here. Possibly, I don't think this news is a game changer for them whatsoever. It's a little bit of bad news, but this might be one of those opportunities where you actually get a chance to buy it on the cheap. And I wouldn't be surprised if Walmart turned around and actually started to find a bottom and find some strength here and start to rally some of this back. Joel, let's talk about Google because we made the
Let's
bet.
not.
We
Let's
we
not.
made the
Let's
bet
not.
yesterday. You were taking 760. I was taking 800. Obviously had a pretty good day yesterday. Closing right up though at resistance. I wanted to see it get above 70. Well, I got up to 78. 788.74. The high from a couple days ago, 787.90. So it did just sneak slightly above where that old high was from the move, but kind of still kicking around up there at resistance. I still think 800 is going to become like a tractor beam here and start to attract the stock towards that price as participants. I often say they like to lean on big whole numbers, but then those guys start to get eaten up. So I think the stock could continue to drift here, and I could win this bet.
Yeah, you do have a nice little edge here on me. It did break through the double bottom at the 779.37 and 97 level, so I thought there was a lot of air underneath that. Obviously, there was only air down to 777.77, and so if you could take a couple bucks worth of heat behind the double bottom, you probably had a good trade yesterday. Made a new all-time high here at 788.74 with the 87.82 close. Not a lot of trading going on in the pre-market, so we'll use the parameters from yesterday. And I might have to roll this one. I might have to double down and maybe go 770 versus the number.
Trying to
Roll it over, you know. Roll the
I
losing
may not let you
position.
do that, so it might not be your choice on that one. Bring up a chart of Apple just from the last month if you can, Joel. I want to highlight something here. That's perfect chart. You can see the double bottom that we made back at the lows around 435. Then we had another double bottom put in place around 442 there, 442 and
Mm-hmm.
42.22. Now look at the last 2 days. We had another double bottom 463.22 and 464.02 yesterday. So you've got this double bottom and a spike up, double bottom and a spike up. We just made a double bottom there yesterday. Can we have another spike up here?
I'll tell you, look at the range from yesterday. It's almost an 8 point range in Apple. That's really very, very unusual. I think on these pullbacks, people are trying to, cover the shorts or, at least initiate some new long positions, really to begin the next leg up. You'd like to see us take out that 485 level. But even the highs from yesterday and the day before were a
Close.
couple bucks away from each other. So you could get a good bang today if you break below 463, or you can break above 474. But who knows, on this option expiration, they'll just probably carve out the 470s. So whoever owns the puts or calls won't make any money at 470.
Well, we will see some excess of volatility in the overall market probably at the open because it is option expiration today, and that does mean that sometimes stocks can open a little bit weird sometimes on the NYSE or even on the Nasdaq. Sometimes they just move around, and they do sometimes move and have a little bit of excess volatility. So we are trading down just a buck right now, 15.17 and a half. It was a very tight range yesterday. It's an extremely overnight tight range. We've been as high as 15.19, as low as 15.14 and a quarter. What do you think? Where do you think we're heading?
Well, I mean, look at it. I mean, we're making new highs with extremely, tight ranges,
Light volume.
which is fine. Yep, light volume. We're just chugging along. I mean, I don't want to say another triple top here. You had, three highs between 15.19 and 15.22. It just seems like on these runs, they're just running into sellers. I mean, we are making new highs, incremental new highs. Still using that 1522 as major resistance, which could be the high of the move. Coming back on the downside, have minor support. The Globex low, the overnight low was 14 and a quarter. I just have to say on the downside, I know we were preaching that 1490 level for a while. Well, the new 1490 is now 1510. three out of the four last lows between 0850 and 1510. That's your major support. This market is not going to show any signs of weakness until we break through that level.
That's our show for today, folks. Have a great trading day. Actually, Monday is President's Day, so we will keep you posted. We have a busy week next week, and we're hoping to get a couple of shows in, but we may not be back till Thursday, but we will update you on the site. Have a great trading day. Talk to you next week.